As a moving business owner, your day starts with a plan. But what happens when your movers don't show and that plan falls apart? Last minute no-shows. You're left to bootstrap, jumping in as an extra body. Yet sometimes, even that's not enough. This isn't just a disruption, it's a barrier to your business growth. Introducing Moving Force, your on-demand moving team. With Moving Force, say goodbye to no-shows and hello to peace of mind. With reliable, on-demand staff ensures you're never undermanned, turning your operational nightmares into a thing of the past. Moving Force, where every day is moving day and every move is smooth. Empower your business and keep growing without missing a beat. Join Moving Force today and move forward with confidence.
All right, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Mornings with Movers. I'm Dwyght Mack with Moving Force. We got Ryan Marsh in the building with Super Move. Crazy part is, I don't think Ryan, we've been sharing a lot of shorts on our Mornings with Movers Facebook page now, and Ryan hasn't even checked out the cool shorts yet.
Dude, I haven't even had time to look at Facebook.
Yeah.
I've been on the go, man, like crazy, and wouldn't have it any other way. But I'll have to check that out on my my next stop tonight.
Yeah. Hey,
No, I like
definitely
the
make sure you
page.
stop to take a second to breathe. That's what they always say.
Hey, man, I'll breathe the moment before I'm gone here, we'll say.
Yeah.
But it's no time to sleep right now.
I hear that. All right. So let's see what we got on the agenda.
Hey, what do you got cranking back there? Were you
Not
surprised?
too much. You know, I did a Moving Force did a blog actually this month telling people how to make sure they because August is the last month. We know that this is the last month for busy season. Some people still trickle into September, maybe even mid-October, but eventually it will slow down. So August being the last official month before kids go back to school and parents just stay settled. They're not moving, or they will be moving, some of them, but not all of them. Um,
That's my
so go ahead.
that's my favorite time of the year. Kids going back to school. Send them right back. Have
Oh,
the house
it's usually
clear again.
mom's favorite time of the year too. Like, get these
Yep.
kids out of my hair.
Oh, it's
Um,
nice having them home, man, but I can't wait until the second week of September to get gone. It's time to have my house back.
hmm So, we're just basically going to hit on some points about, just late summer preparation and making sure that, your jobs still continue to go over smoothly. So being that it's late summer, things that you want to look to avoid or look for signs of is irritability or frustration on jobs, forgetfulness or carelessness, slower performance and short patience with customers, higher rate of injury or errors. So basically, these are all signs that you want to start to check for with your guys. Are they getting short-tempered? Um, it's been a long summer. You've been burning them out maybe 6, 7 days a week. And basically some ways to, combat a lot of these steps. So some ways is basically just make sure there's some hydration and cool downs for the guys. So hydration stations and trucks, dispatch areas. So water, Gatorade, electrolytes, cooling towels, or misting bottles for instant relief. Schedule shade breaks every 2 to 3 hours, 10 to 15 minutes minimum. A few cool minutes now can save hours lost in heat exhaustion or hospital visits later. So just things like that, for this part of it is just basically making sure that you keep your guys hydrated. There's some way, shape, or form, maybe even bring drinks out to your guys. Just to make sure that, you show some appreciation as well as, these guys understand, hey, we can't just be machines running this whole summer. What did you guys do for you guys when in that situation, like for hydration purposes?
Well, we always provided we had coolers on all the trucks, right? And on the hot days, now again, we're from the Northeast, right? So days don't get too crazy hot, but we do have, a couple weeks in the summertime where, we do get those heat spells where it's 90 plus degrees, 60% humidity. I think that there is, when we had those weeks, that's when our office team would basically go out, drop off the Gatorades and drop off a bunch of fruit packets and things like that. Because oftentimes I'll be the first one to say when it's that hot outside, I don't really want to eat, right? Because if I eat in the heat, I get tired and want to sleep. It was kind of a thing that was my own personal thing there. So what I found is, grapes and watermelon, some other pieces like that, just little snacks throughout the day, some fruit type pieces that do have some fluids in them, plenty of water, Gatorades, and our team was really big on those liquid IV packets, we'll say. I mean, they drank those things like it was nobody's business. But also proper scheduling too, right? If you've got the same guy out on 3 back-to-back 10,000-pound jobs during that week, there's a chance he's going to be a little bit burnt. But we also have to keep in mind, too, like this is peak season, right? I mean, this is time we got to make our hay. We got to tough it out a little bit. But again, I think back to proper planning, proper scheduling, making sure your team has all the resources needed, whether it be the snacks, the drinks, and what have you on those trucks. And I do think you're right. Taking a break here and there, it is okay to have a guy or two cool down for a little bit. Now, what I'm not a big fan of, this is just me personally, is having the entire crew take a break, right? If you've got 3-4 guys on a job site, let's cycle that out there. So there's constant motion, constant moving, because there's nothing worse than a customer seeing, especially on a local move where it's done by the hour or something like that. Why is my crew taking 2-3 breaks, right? Now, granted, it's 95 degrees, it's humid. You would assume the customer would think, but at the end of the day, pay him by the hour. Like, how would you feel if your crew that you hired took 3-4 breaks that day, 15, 20 minutes a piece? That's an hour.
Now,
at $200 an hour, whew,
now
you got to cycle that break.
I get it, but then I have to challenge you on that a little bit, which is,
I love it.
constructive, but it's one of those things where a customer is always going to complain, whether it's you have a 4-man crew and one guy is taking a break in rotation, or if you just have the whole crew take a break. Now I think if you have the whole crew take a break, in the customer's eyes, it may be understanding that, hey, okay, it is hot. These guys need to take a break. But if one guy's taking a break and they're only seeing 3 guys in rotation all the time, hey, where's that 4th guy? Or where's that guy at? Like, there's someone always taking a break or whatever the case is. I'm paying for 4 of you guys to be working. So I don't know.
But I think it's also being a little bit strategic of, swapping out the runners, right? Because we always say you always have a guy that's kind of loading the truck piece, and you always have guys running material to and from the house. Swap them out.
That could work. That could definitely work. Now typically, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, typically, like I would say, like we encourage one loader. Like if it's a specific loader, hey, just load, because basically you have the vision in mind. You know how you want to get everything fit in this truck. So to probably swap out a runner for a loader, probably not so much.
I wouldn't do that, but also just think the loader, man, being on those trucks, 100-degree weather, it's 120 degrees inside that truck. So yeah, they might not be doing the running, like the rest of the folks, but shoot, that's just like sitting in an oven. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
I will tell you, I give all the credit to the crews in Arizona, Texas, Florida, any of these states where, Florida had its hottest temperature this past week, well over 100 degrees. It felt like 115 or 120 with humidity. And, got to meet with 2 moving companies yesterday, 2 really amazing moving companies, one in the Ocala area, one in the Tampa Bay area. I don't know how these guys do it. I was standing outside our Super Move Mobile, just dripping in sweat. I wasn't moving a finger. I wasn't even moving my feet. So, I mean, it's tough, man.
When your team isn't trained, mistakes happen. Jobs go wrong. Customers complain. And your business? It suffers. At Max Moving Training, we help moving companies like yours build strong, reliable teams from the inside out. From mover and driver training to sales, operations, marketing, and leadership, we give your people the skills to succeed. When everyone is trained, everything runs smoother and your business grows stronger. Training isn't optional. It's essential. Stop guessing. Start training. Join Max Moving Training today.
Oh yeah, in Florida it's definitely tough. I decided like when we were down there, the short period we were down there, I was like, you know what? Let me not be an office person. Let me go out and do a job or two out here and see what it was about. Sheesh. It was hot. It was
We
definitely
also we'd pack a towel, pack a cooler with some towels and some ice packs as well. Because I tell you what feels, at least it works for me. Back in my days, putting a cold towel around the neck or a little ice pack on the neck, like definitely helped me cool everything down.
hot. All right, so number two, yeah. So keep morale high with micro wins. Your team needs wins just as much as they need water. Introduce Mover of the Week. Shout outs with small prizes, gift cards, extra time off, quick recognition board at HQ or an app. Positive job recap messages after strong days. Consistency here builds a culture that keeps pushing, even when tired. Um, I'm a fan of it. Like, well, I'm a advocate of this because basically when I was actually in the field and we were working 7 days a week and we didn't have, a strong rotation of people to rotate in, I was out there 7 days a week and then going again the eighth day, the ninth day. And, at the end of the day, my body was hurting as well. And I'm just like, hey guys, we're almost there. We're almost at the finish line. Let's keep pushing. We were doing 5-star incentives. So the more 5 stars a person got in the month, we would have rewards that we would do at the end of the month. Basically, essentially making them like the employee of the month and having their picture hung up in the office and stuff like that. So again, me being in the field and still having to do the administrative stuff and making sure that hey, you know what, we keep morale high. It's just one of those things that we have to do. Wearing seven hats in the business.
Yeah, no, you're spot on there. I think it's one thing, it's something that doesn't need to be done just in peak season. That's something that needs to be done 12 months out of the year, right? You're always going to have that employee of the week or the month or the quarter, the what have you. I think you should recognize and reward your top team players at all times. But the biggest thing with that is you can't do it for 2, 3 months and then stop because you're going to lose the buy-in from the crews and it's just going to be another fad or another trend or whatever the heck you want to call it. But as long as you can track it and maintain it 12 months out of the year after year, I'm all about it.
hmm We even did some a little incentive. Now, obviously, this wasn't going towards that last topic that I mentioned, but we even did an incentive where we would do like a flex pay. We knew in the Northeast that it would get cold and hours will definitely drop. There's been times in January or February we averaged about 30 jobs, maybe a little bit more than 30 jobs. So when you average it out in January, that's one job a day, and there's a lot of people that usually you have to feed. So with that being said, we used to do like a flex pay. And the flex pay would be we would take part of the mover or driver's pay for a course of 20 weeks that we deem to be busy season, and then reallocate them back over 20 weeks we deem to be slow season. Now we can either break it up by the number of hours. So we say, well, hey, they put away 5 to 10 hours in busy season because we know that they're going to average about 30 to 30, almost 40 hours in busy season. So we're going to put about 5 to 10 hours away, 10 hours being max. So now they have 200 hours. If they did 10, they have 200 hours that basically they can reallocate in the slow season. So every week they start off with at least 10 hours and they build up upon those 10 hours with whatever they worked. So now they check look half decent. And that's something we offered in-house for our guys as well. Or they can do it in one big stipend and we'll just give them, hey, you have 200 hours. We'll
Right.
make this some sort of bonus or whatever the case is because we ain't paying OT on it if you want it in one shot.
No, kudos to you for doing that. I think one thing that we did not um, have a program like that, but I think it was one with having the conversation with the guys, right? Sharing how much tips they made. We could track their tips, obviously, on our CRM system and things like that. Sharing the hours, sharing the money that they made. Because let's face it, those guys make a lot of cash or a lot of hay. We'll say not just cash, but between paychecks, tips, and what have you, they make a lot of money in that summer period. But they're also very forgetful too, right? So they, go from working 40, 50, 60 hours in a week down to the 25, 30 hours a week. That can feel like they're not working at all. So it's just one thing we always brought up and shared with them, how much money was made, basically again, they know this as well, but just kind of bringing it back to the top. And it worked well for us. But again, 200 hours, man, I wouldn't complain over that at all.
Yeah. So, and again, it depends. Some of them were like, oh, well, I'll take the whole money up front. Okay,
Sure.
so we have to make that work. But for those that was smart and like, oh, I know that it's going to be super slow. I've been, through this. I'll do the 10 hours every week. Hey, that was great. We also had like a Uber incentive because we knew a lot of guys had an Uber to work or whatever the case is. So we said, hey, you know what? We can take a portion of your pay again, all signed documents, and we basically put it into a stowaway account. And basically, each account has you guys' names on it, so it's not like going all into one bucket. And so we can one balance it out. So then two, now anytime you need a ride to work or a ride home from work, if it's late night and you get back, say 7, 8 o'clock at night, and obviously everybody's, the shop is shut down, you can order Uber and basically take it out of your stow account money. So you don't have to always rely on, oh damn, I ain't got no money this week. How am I gonna get home? And there was some piece of culture just to help their morale where it just didn't feel like, oh man, I'm in it by myself. I done spent all my money. I don't have no options. So we did something like that as well. That it lasted for a good bit of time before it went away and people just started ruining it, of course.
Yeah, and we did not do that, but I think that's pretty cool. We had kind of I don't want to say a no man left behind policy, but I'm not leaving my guys stranded at work on a late night. I'm not leaving guys stranded on jobs. To me, that was a cultural piece that we had within the organization is no man left behind, right? I mean, we're all one team. Without those guys, we are nothing. I could book all the moves in the world. If we don't have the awesome crews, basically, what are we at that point? And the same token, I would say is if we had a job that was run a little bit late, you know, the next crew and the crew would basically, if a crew finished a half hour or an hour early or whatever the case was and was kind of coming by the area, it was really cool to see our crews basically swinging by that other job site that was running behind, a little bit late, whatever the case was, to, I don't want to say bail the crew out, but to give assistance, which I love. Now, did it happen often? Not too much. I heard a lot of folks like, more payroll, you're adding 2 more hours to those guys' pay. Well, I'd rather have a happy customer and send additional crew to knock that customer out, get them done by 5, 6 o'clock that day, than rather have a crew in a home until 8, 9, 10 o'clock. No, but I don't know many customers that want people in their house that late. And I
No,
hear
you're right.
story of crews in homes at midnight, 1, 2 a.m. And it's like, I'd be telling the guys go home. Like nothing good happens after hours, we'll say. That's when you
No,
have the
you're
injury you were talking about. That's when you have the burnout. That's when you have broken furniture, aka claims.
Are you in search of a side gig? Get ready to land the ultimate side hustle. Don't let this opportunity slip away. Join Moving Force as a mobile mover. Enjoy the freedom to set your own hours, earn excellent income, and be your own boss. Apply now. Download the app for free, available on the App Store. It's time to make a move, both figuratively and literally.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that. And I think it comes down to how you structure and organize that piece. Because obviously you're sending another guy and more guys to a job to help them finish quicker. It definitely cuts into your margins. Um, but at the same token, instead of it being an extra 3, 4, or 5 hours that crew would have been there, now they're there maybe half that time, 2.5 hours. Will that crew kind of feel some kind of way if the customer wants to tip the original guys and not them? That's another piece. But again, it's all how top-down structures that, like, hey guys, you're going out there to help them out. Obviously, we're just a team advocate there. If they get tipped, $100 a piece, and it's three of them, that's $300. Hey guys, it's their job. They got tipped. That's theirs. And if they choose to say, oh, you know what, you guys really helped us out, we'll give you a portion of that. Then that's solely up to them. But if they don't, hey, you guys got to understand, you guys just did a job. You guys just got, your tip on the other job, and you just made more hours on this job.
It comes back to, my famous saying is one team, right? I mean, if I had a teammate down, I had no issue stepping in. I wasn't. This is just me personally. I'm sure everyone's completely different. If Dwight, you were on a job and I had to be rolling through and you were getting stuck, I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna help out. You're my teammate. You're my family. I personally don't expect you to give me a tip, right? The job went a little sideways. It's not Dwight's fault. Maybe the customer added a little bit more furniture or changed the scope last minute, or maybe there was an issue with the truck. The truck broke down, or whatever the case was, halfway through, or something like that. It's out of the customer's control. It's out of the crew's control. But again, we didn't want to leave anybody behind at all.
Yeah.
And I'll be damned if I'm sitting at home having dinner and I got a guy sitting in my parking lot trying to figure out how he's going to get home.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Well, the perfect thing now is now that you guys have moving force at your fingertips, you guys are never left behind, you know?
Problem solved.
So, hey, if you guys do need same situation that Ryan's mentioning, moving force works in that same fashion. So if you guys are out 5 o'clock at night and you realize that, oh man, this job is going to take an extra 5, 6 hours because this customer just wasn't honest, hey, contact moving force, go on the app, contract however many guys you need to come out there. These guys will be there. They'll show up. They'll get the job done and shorten the time. And the way the price works as if you were just using one of your other guys. So we made Moving Force has made the price so reasonably affordable that it's almost like you're not skipping a beat by using your other guys instead of having your guys come out. Maybe they burnt out. Maybe they're tired for the night. Moving Force is your on-demand team that can just meet you wherever you need them to meet you and get the job done. So that's one way y'all guys can utilize Moving Force as well, so that your guys can get home at a reasonable hour every night. But the next tip, fuel a hustle with smart snacks. So if you guys are eating like crap, you guys are eating greasy pizza, the gas station food, Slim Jims, Gatorade, whatever, obviously the guys will eventually start to cramp up. A lot of my guys were fast to grab McDonald's or grab something that was just not healthy whatsoever. But and then obviously they would end up either crashing, cramping, or being very sluggish. So things like bananas, protein bars, or nut packs, trail mix, or even beef jerky to a certain extent can really get your guys in the right spot. So just make sure that they have the proper snacks. So even if you have the little packets in a basket at your office, and you guys can just grab the packets before they head out to a job, that goes a long way, versus them, you put it in their hands to eat healthy.
It just makes me laugh. Like I'm with you 100%, man. But I tell you, I ain't never seen many movers basically snacking on trail mix in between the job or something like that. Like we provide the I think you should provide the snacks and things like that. No doubt. The bananas, the fruit, the thing that's what I would personally be choosing to not cramp up, to fuel some energy. Additional hydration, things like that. But unfortunately, McDonald's and that pizza sometimes prevails. And I was at the time, I always hate. I'm a pizza connoisseur, as you all know, and everybody knows. I love my pizza. The one time I don't love pizza, or the times I don't like pizza, I should say, is when I'm on a job. I eat pizza on a job, I immediately fall asleep after that. I'm
Hmm.
done, I'm sluggish, and I think I saw a statistic somewhere like pizza was it was number one or number two food choice that customers buy movers. Now, in the Northeast in the wintertime, sure, I'll snack on some pizza midday, but man, the summertime when it's hot, give me some grapes, some pineapple, some bananas, and some liquid IV, and that's going to get me through. But no, I'd love to see crews eating trail mix and that stuff, but I tell you, I've been on a lot of job sites, man. I don't think I've ever seen crews eat protein bars, bananas, or trail mix. I'm seeing McDonald's, cigarettes, cigars, Red Bulls, Monsters, Primes, that's what I'm
Hmm.
saying. Like just heart attack waiting to happen.
Yeah, I think when I kind of got away from the moving industry, I think when my diet really changed for the better, because I was, hey, I'm going to the gas station. I'm getting me, worst foods ever, and I think I did limit it, but I was always on Pepsis or I slowed down on the Mountain Dews, but I was definitely on Pepsis.
I did
And
have Mountain Dew a couple weeks. It was the first Mountain Dew I've had since like eighth grade, and it was slamming. I will tell you that. It was in a can too. Can
yeah,
Mountain Dew.
I haven't drunk Mountain Dew. Now that I look at those uh nutrition ingredients on the bottles or whatever the case is, and I see how much sugar is in these bottles of soda, especially Mountain Dew. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this.
The diabetes.
So my friend got mad at me the other day because I'm like, yeah, it's nothing like coming home to a nice cold can of seltzer water or whatever the case is. And he's like, what's the point? It don't even have any sugar.
Yeah, and I'll say, I mean, even taking your advice, taking mine, but what have you, like in our Supermobile, we have snacks, protein bar, like really, really healthy stuff to eat to kind of tie us over in between stops, appointments, all that stuff. And I'll be the first one to say, man, like I've got access. All I gotta do is reach around a seat and grab me something really healthy. It's gonna tie me over. And you know, 90% of the time I don't do that. That's on me. But the nice thing is I've got my team the next month basically holding me accountable. And it's something I told them, and I'm traveling with a couple Super Move folks right now. I'm like, hey, don't let me stop and grab pizza. I need to eat healthy. So, and it's been working. I had fish last night. I'm not a big fish guy, but like I think the other thing, having the team hold you accountable and kind of having that group, really make sure that everybody on the team is staying hydrated, eating well, and of course, doing the right thing at all times.
And don't be smoking so much cigarettes in the summer. It ain't good for you. But
I was at a job site the other day. It's 100 degrees outside, crazy humidity, and just watching the cigarettes fly. And I'm like, I couldn't even breathe normally without a cigarette. I don't smoke, obviously, but I don't know how, man. Iron lungs. I don't know how those guys do it. More power to them. But man, smoking the humidity has got to.
Mhm.
All right, guys, my name is Brandon. I'm with Max Move Management, and here's 11 steps on how to have a perfect move. The first one, the office should call, or your dispatcher should call the customer 2 days prior to arrival. The reason for this is just in case the customer has a closing on the house, maybe they weren't able to secure, a babysitter for the child or a pet sitter. You definitely want to call 2 days in advance. This helps the customer be prepared, and you make sure that you as well know that you're going to a customer that's also prepared. 2, the crew should also call the customer prior to arrival to the home. After the guys have already geared up, you got all your equipment in your truck, you got your address punched into your GPS, go ahead and either the driver or the helper, give the customer a call or a quick text, let them know that you're en route to your location, and provide them with the ETA. This also sets the expectation for the customer to be back home just in case they want to drop their kids off to school. For the third one, look to keep the customer happy, break the ice in the beginning. So pretty much this means when you walk up to the house, knock on the door with your best mannerism that your mother taught you, or father, you knock on the door, introduce yourself. Hi, my name is Brandon. I'm the foreman. This is my helper. And you introduce the team that you have with you.
Mm-hmm. So don't last tip, y'all, don't just rest, schedule recovery. Late summer is not the time to gamble with overworked talent. Proactively rotate teams based on fatigue levels or job type. Give your A players a strategic breather before burnout set in. Use relief movers for smaller gigs to protect your core crew. Strategic rest isn't weakness, it's a wise leadership choice. So you heard it firsthand. Again, moving force can flex your guys out where basically, hey, you know what? You got an A team that may need a little rest or whatever the case is, but maybe one of your A team drivers or backups is ready to go. You can utilize moving force guys who are already trained movers on demand, meet you at the location, don't have to ride in the truck for you guys, and basically they can get the job done. There's been times where I've even went to a job and I've supervised the job and I just did what I had to do from an administrative standpoint. I just drove the guys there. I knew they can get the work done. And it was just a bunch of movers really, because there was no lead on that job besides me really, because I was the driver. So I would say, hey guys, I know you guys have been doing this job already. I can do the paperwork if you need me to do the paperwork. You guys just need to wrap stuff, load it, do what you do as movers. And you don't need someone supervising you guys all the time. You guys know what you need to do because you've been doing this long enough. But that was how I sometimes did it if I needed to still get administrative stuff done and I didn't have a driver. Um, but yeah, right. Anything on that last tip?
I can't, I guess, can't recall a time I didn't have a driver on a job throughout the entire thing, but there was always a crew lead there, right? So I didn't have to manage. I didn't want to get in the way, right? Like we had it structured and set up where, and I think Ed Katz, that sets the tone really, really well on this one. Is I know when I initially booked commercial jobs and things were early on in the commercial career, 12 years ago, I was on every job site, because I wanted that control. I wanted to manage. I wanted this. I wanted that. And, after going through the IOMI's course, really kind of taught us how to bring in the crew lead on a secondary walkthrough, show them what's going on, and then remove myself from that job. Let the team do the work. And I see the same thing, we hear across the industry, as owners, fire yourself from the truck.
Mm-hmm.
I think that as salespeople, fire yourself from that job. If you're doing the right thing, you're documenting, taking the proper notes, you're doing the proper walkthroughs, and you have a proper crew lead that is trained and well aware of the situation, what's going on, there's no need for you to be on that job. Now, I'm not saying you can't pop in on that job and help out 15, 20 minutes, do your thing, check in with the crew, but in my opinion, there's no need. Again, depending on the size of the company and scale and things like that, but just like, owners need to fire themselves from being on the trucks if they're looking to grow and scale to focus more on the business. I feel like salespeople, estimators, what have you, you got to fire yourself from being on those jobs as well.
Yeah.
Now, early on in the career, sure, I wanted to bid on those jobs, and then I wanted to work on those jobs just to kind of make sure my accuracy on how many men, how many hours, how many what have you. That was great training for me. And this was, again, long prior to being IOMI certified and all of that. But I didn't have anything to measure at that point. Once we got IOMI certified, I'll plug in Ed Katz here for goodness sakes. But once we got IOMI certified and learn the tips and the tricks of how to book business, the proper commercial business, how to dispatch proper crews and staff properly, I no longer had to be on commercial jobs. I could book that job and I could walk away from it.
Yeah. And I think I was able to fire myself from the field at my 4 year marker, which was amazing because I knew at that point I could just keep firing myself from different positions and just work my way up to being a CEO.
Yep.
But for those, we are at the top of the time. So I hope you guys did get some valuable tips and ladies. So definitely keep crushing it. We are maybe 1/4 of the way through the month of August. So hey, we got a few more weeks left. Get all you can get. Make sure you guys are getting proper rotation so you finish strong. Less claims. Utilize moving force. Reach out to my team. My team will definitely, account management team will definitely make sure that you guys understand what you're getting into and you're getting the right guys. We don't keep anybody in our platform that are slackers. If they're slacking, they're gone. So we hold our guys to high standards just like you hold your guys to high standards. So definitely two high standards should be together. So y'all keep crushing it out there. Ryan, anything?
No, man, I'm good. I actually got to get ready to roll. We're leaving here in about 10 minutes. Traveling about 45 minutes south in Vero Beach now. And yeah, heading to West Palm. So
I miss Vero Beach. All right, well, you keep crushing it, Ryan, and y'all keep crushing out there. We'll see you next week. Take care.